Welcome to Griffin's Gaming Guides. In this video we're going to go over the Remnant 2 Kaeula's Shadow boss guide. Now the Kaeula's Shadow boss is found at the end of Kaeula's Rest, which is an area that will always appear on Yaesha. However, it does have two variations of the map. One variation will have the temple key allowing you through to the later section of Kaeula's Rest, where you can then go through the entire area, take down all the enemies, do what you need to do, and then initiate the fight against the Kaeula's Shadow boss. However, one of the other maps, for whatever reason, the developers have decided not to code it properly, so sometimes the temple key won't show up, and the only way around this that I know of, obviously if you know of a different way, then please feel free, let the community know down in the comments, let me know if no one else, just so that way I can update the website or anything else. The only way to get the key to spawn in Kaeula's Rest, if it doesn't appear, is to re-roll the entire campaign, where you lose every single bit of progress in your main campaign, regardless of how far through you are. This just here is where the temple key should appear, on the penultimate room over to the right at the end of the section after you take a left. Once you've gone through the water section at the start of Kaeula's Rest, you can then use the temple key on this little door here over against the left back wall, allowing you through to the later section of Kaeula's Rest. If it doesn't appear, like I say, the only way around it is a complete campaign reroll, and this one's important as it takes you through to the world boss once you've taken down Kaeula's Shadow. Bit of an oversight on the developers' part there that has cost people tens of hours of progress. Not really good enough. But anyway, I digress. We'll go back to the actual guide. For those of you that are lucky enough, now I've had to reroll Yaesha 4 times just to make this bloody thing appear. For those of you that are lucky enough to have the key appear where it should do in Kaeula's Rest, make your way all the way around to the end and then unlock this door. Should you die before the next section, it's a much shorter walk back. Unlock that door, then progress through to the final room on the left, where you can collect the Kaeula's Tear ring. You're then going to be grabbed from below and pulled down the water, where the boss fight will initiate. You won't have a chance to rest at a checkpoint, so if you die, don't worry too much, because you'll be back at the start of Kaeula's Rest. You can then go through just a tiny little passageway where you can then go on and take on Kaeula's Shadow properly. Now, I know that's a ton of information, my apologies. We'll actually get to the actual boss fight now. I'm going to die in a second, don't worry too much. It's just, you know, I had one relic left. This is a fairly tough boss. Death's going to happen. So with that said, the Kaeula's Shadow, one of his main attacks is a tentacle that he can kind of ram his arm into the water. And the water, by the way, if you go into deep water, you are going to have trouble, as you won't be able to move, you won't be able to dodge, you won't be able to roll, you won't be able to run. So just make sure that you stay against the platforms. You're going to have a much easier time of it. There's the death. Don't worry too much if it happens to you. It's Remnant 2. You're going to die at some point. Now, once you stay out of deep water, just stick to kind of where the leaves are on the water. You should be able to find some platforms or hug the pillar. You should be able to dodge and roll around and do what you need to. Now, like I say, the tentacle attacks will slam down, they'll swipe at you. Kaeula's Shadow himself, or itself should I say, isn't really that powerful, and it's got a fairly low defense. So providing you don't get caught up dealing with the tentacles, unless you have to, you're going to see the boss's health bar in a minute change to tentacles. Those 3 sections in the fight, you are going to have to deal with all of the tentacles that spawn. You can then go back to fighting Kaeula's Shadow. As long as you unload in his chest, use your abilities, avoid his kind of slams and swipes. I do show you a bit in the video. A little bit was kind of me showing you what to do. A little bit was me just being a bit crap. But either way, once you've taken down Kaeula's Shadow, you can then go through the newly opened section into the very back of Kaeula's Rest, where you can then activate the mechanism for the kind of water harp device, taking you through to the world boss of Yaesha. Now, reward-wise, once you've taken down Kaeula's Shadow, you're going to be rewarded with 3 Luminite Crystal, 1 Tome of Knowledge, giving you a trait point, 500 scrap, and the Twilight Dactylus that you can use back at Ward 13, where you're then going to be able to craft tentacles as part of your weapon. It's incredibly powerful to use if, like me, you're playing a summoner class. So, we'll let the rest of the fight play out. That's how to find and take down Kaeula's Shadow. I do sincerely hope that in Kaeula's Rest, you can acquire this temple key. If you can't, it is a reroll. Hopefully, once I put this guide up, sod's law as it always is, the developers will release a patch and it'll never be an issue again. But if it is an issue, then just all I can do is apologise on the behalf of the developers. And obviously, my sincerest apologies for any of your lost progress that you're going to suffer due to the temple key not being there. So with all of that said, I do hope that this guide's helped you out. If it has, do us a massive favour, hit the subscribe button. It does help us out a great deal. Either way, whichever you decide to do, you guys look after yourselves, enjoy the rest of the video, and we do look forward to seeing you back here at Griffin's Gaming Guides.
Okay, might know what to do with this.